Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to the Massena Arena for Northern Athletic Conference hockey action live here on Cable 36, Edwards Production Sports. I'm Chip Chapman, and I'll be joined alongside tonight the captain of the Cornwall Aces and Louisville, New York native, Mike Hroba. Tonight, the Massena Central Red Raiders are hosting the Potsdam Sandstoners. These teams have met one time previous to tonight. That was in the Massena Invitational Tournament before Christmas. Potsdam Sandstoners won the consolation game by the score of 4-3 over the Massena Central Red Raiders in overtime. In that game, Massena took a 2-0 lead early in the game on goals by Chad Schneider and Brian Terry. But then Potsdam came back late in the first period to tie the game on goals by Jonathan Hoos and Jack Charlebois. Then, in the second period, the teams traded goals once again, with Matt Reed scoring for Massena and David Grant for Potsdam. That's how the scoring finished up in regulation play. Then into overtime, Potsdam scored as Jeff Carey redirected an Ed Kelleher shot from the point past Brian Garsha, the Massena goaltender, as Potsdam went on to win that game by the score of 4-3 in a typical Massena-Potsdam battle right to the finish. Both coaches, Tim Long, pleased with the effort from the Massena Central Red Raiders after the night before being defeated by Aquinas, a game which you saw here on Cable 36. The Red Raiders were winning that hockey game by the score up by 3 goals, and Aquinas came from behind to score 4 power play goals in the last 5 minutes of the game to defeat Massena in that game. So Tim Long very pleased with the effort the next night against Potsdam, although they lost. On the other side, Joe Stark, the coach of Potsdam, commented that he was very pleased with the play of his team, and as long as they can continue to get improvement from the young players, Potsdam will probably have another successful season. Now, talking about the Massena Central Red Raiders, kind of an up and down season. You kind of got to watch the Red Raiders through the entire game, because this year they've had some games where they were defeating some teams late in the game, and only to find out that only to end up allowing goals late in the third period, the final period, and they had to either lose the game or they had to go into overtime and eventually win games. So the Red Raiders have had kind of a up and down season so far, and it'll be an interesting game here tonight. Now, how these teams have fared against common opponents? Well, they've each played Canton, OFA, and Salmon River. Potsdam and Massena have both defeated Salmon River. They have defeated Ogdensburg. Potsdam have defeated Ogdensburg twice, Massena once. And then against Canton, the Potsdam Sandstoners have played 3 times already against Canton. They have lost twice and they have tied once. And the Massena Central Red Raiders have lost the only time they have played Canton so far this season. So once again, it proves to be a pretty even matchup as we go into this Northern Athletic Conference battle here tonight from the Massena Arena. Taking a look at some of the leading scorers on these teams, Mike McCabe, one of the top scorers for this Potsdam Sandstoner hockey team. Tony Walker is another name. Jeff Carey, David Grant. You'll probably be hearing a lot from those players tonight. For the Massena Central Red Raiders, of course, Brian LeBombard, Matt Reed, Brian Terry, some of the offensive players that the Red Raiders that rely on, and we'll probably be hearing a lot from them tonight. So it's Northern Athletic Conference hockey action coming up next here on Cable 36 live, and we'll have it for you right after this. You're watching Northern Athletic Conference hockey action here on Edwards Production Sports. Hi again, hockey fans, and Happy New Year to you. Chip Chapman along with my colleague and special guest for tonight, the captain of the Cornwall Aces and Louisville native Mike Hroba. And we're happy to have you with us here on Northern Athletic Conference hockey action here on Cable 36. And Mike, nice to have you with us. Massena-Potsdam, always a rivalry between the two schools. You know something about Massena rivalry, Potsdam rivalries, kind of special.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, I graduated from Massena almost 10 years ago this summer, And you know, I played 3 years of varsity hockey here for Massena, and Potsdam Massena was always a big game, and you know, we had some real good battles during the 3 years I was there.
Coach probably doesn't need to say much to get you up for a Potsdam rivalry.
No, you know, Potsdam was a big team for us to play with, or against, I should say, and also Augsburg was a real good team, and you know, we've had some real good matches against it with both schools.
From the Massena Arena, we are just about set for hockey action here, as right now we will have the playing of our national anthem. Massena Central Red Raiders coming into this game 4-4-2 on the season. The Potsdam Sandstoners 6-3-1. There you get a look at some of our crowd assembling here at the Massena Arena for tonight's game. And the Massena Central Red Raiders teaming up in front of their goaltender, and the Potsdam Sandstoners as well, as there you get a look at the Potsdam team coached by Joe Stark. Joe Stark in his 4th season as head coach of Potsdam Central. Last season, Potsdam were 16-5-5, and of course, if you remember, an exciting game in the finals of the Section 10 Division 1, as the Massena Central Red Raiders won at Shield Arena over the Potsdam Sandstoners in a very good game. Brian Garcia will get the start in net. There you get a look at number 21 for the Massena Central Red Raiders. And the Potsdam Sandstoners are going with Sean Grant, number 1. And off the draw, center ice, Potsdam control. Sandstoners go with Mike McCabe out there, along with Jeff Carey. Now behind the net, battling, it's Tony Walker. Walker trying to play it in front and onto a stick, but broken up by the Red Raider defense, and Derek DeRocher plays it to center. Now the Red Raiders send in deep. Behind the net, Spanberg going after the puck in the corner. Walker eluding a check, plays for McCabe at center. And the puck rolls the length of the ice. And in the early going, Mike, Potsdam are guilty of, well, I thought it was going to be...
looks like the officials had a little disagreement there, and they're going to have the face-off at center ice, and basically we're going to start over again.
That's right. Butch Martin, referee, made a mistake, so when they make a mistake like that, they just, okay, we'll just have a face-off from center ice area. On the draw, the Sandstoners control. This is the first game of the Division 1 regular season for both of these schools, as they have played up to now either tournaments or teams from the other division, teams like Salmon River and Norwood Norfolk. Sandstoners control in their own zone. David Grant moves in over the line. Grant being watched on that play by Terry. Terry rides him out of the play. Potsdam try to play it in front. That goes off a leg. In for checking is David Grant. Grant battling along the boards with Massena's B.J. Terry. Also in there for Potsdam is Marty Andrews. Sandstoners work the puck free. Shot wide of the Massena net. Ooh. Mike, we're going to have our first penalty coming up. Yeah. And pleading his case is David Grant. But that time, B.J. Terry had his head down.
Yeah, he certainly did, and pretty clean hit, except that B.J. didn't have the puck, and that's interference, and he's going to be sitting in the box for a minute and a half there, and so we'll see what Massena can do on their power play.
So 13-17 remaining here in our first period, and the Red Raiders will go on the power play, as it's going to be David Grant. Grant goes for interference. 1:43 the time of the penalty, and the Red Raiders on the power play. We'll set that power play up for you. Derek DeRocher at the point along with Ryan Kerwin. Red Raiders have LeBombard, Spanberg up front along with Matt Reed. This is Ryan Kerwin. Kerwin. Now DeRocher. DeRocher attempts to move in, but he lost the puck momentarily. DeRocher once again plays into an open corner. Potsdam reply here with Tony Walker as a penalty killer. Mike McCabe. It's Walker and McCabe up front. Here's a shot that deflects off the stick of Larry Allen, who's also out there. Now DeRocher shooting, that goes off a leg, it's in front, loose, and a shot, the Red Raiders score! Brian LeBombard is going to get the goal. It's a power play goal. And the Red Raiders get on the board in the early going. We'll get the assist in a moment. But LeBombard, Johnny on the spot that time, Mike, as the original shot came from the point, knocked down in front, but LeBombard was there and he was able to put the puck over Grant.
That's real important to have a guy in front like LeBombard was. He had a good position to pick up a rebound or screen the goalie on the shot from the point. He was did his job on that power play.
So the Red Raiders in the lead. Brian LeBombard with a goal. Josh Spanberg and Derek DeRocher pick up assists. 2:48 at the time of the power play goal. Now LeBombard circling in front, but the pass was behind him. From the point, Adams takes a shot. It's loose in front. The goaltender's down, and he's got it underneath him. Good pressure that time by Matt Reed for the Massena Central Red Raiders. And also out there helping out was Josh Spanberg, as the Red Raiders applying some pressure.
Massena came right back with a big shift there right after the power play, which is, that's a crucial time to come up with a good shift like that.
Sandstoners having trouble in their own zone. Here's the shot taken by LaPointe from a bad angle, and it just went wide of the mark. Red Raiders doing a good job forechecking Potsdam in their own zone in the early going. Sandstoners will work it out to center. Moving in over the line, this is Lloyd Howe. Howe leaves for Rob Bicknell. He can't do anything. Now Corey David. David for LaPointe. LaPointe's shot. That's blocked partially in front off the leg of Dave Hewlin. Hewlin has it. Plays along the boards for Howe. Red Raiders hold in at the point. Red Raiders have LaPointe out here along with Courier. Frank Joy. This is Jamie Courier with a puck. Courier will slowly play it into the Potsdam zone, but the pass originated from the Massena side of center ice, and therefore it's icing called. 10:37 remaining, first period, 1-0, Red Raiders in the lead.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Bob Post has been there for over 30 years, serving the people of Massena with complete auto, home, and life insurance coverage. If you're not satisfied with your insurance situation, call Bob Post at 764-0189. Let him give you a quote and see the advantages that State Farm can offer you.
From the draw, puck down in the Potsdam zone. Red Raiders trying to forecheck. Now it's puck is loose. Derek DeRocher in his own zone, being checked by Walker, but not before he plays for Schneider in the center ice area. Now the puck is lifted over the glass and out of play. 10:04 remaining. There you see our score on our Cable 36 Sports scoreboard. Massena 1, Potsdam nothing. Face-off will come inside the Potsdam zone. B.J. Terry for Massena on the draw against Grant. Potsdam control. Adams, Dougie Adams for Massena. Knocks down a Potsdam player. Now Adams, oh, he takes a big hit there by John Hoos, as Hoos caught Adams a little bit with a head down, and big check. Sandstoners trying to work out of their own end. Come to center ice, a pass intended for David Grant, but it goes the length of the ice, and Potsdam will be guilty of icing.
We're seeing some real good hitting on both sides of the with both teams here. It's one thing that gets you into the game. We're pretty early in the first period. Or one thing that really gets you into the game right away is a big hit, whether you received it or have given it. So it's good to see both teams are ready to play tonight.
Face off to the right of Sean Grant from the point. Here's a shot taken by Schneider. That's blocked before it reaches the Potsdam goal. Red Raiders once again forechecking. Frank Joy holds in at the point. Red Raiders played in front. Matt Reed shoots, and Sean Grant, the goaltender, was down, and he made the save. And what do you think, Mike? Would Matt Reed like to have that one back? Maybe go upstairs on that one, or was he too close in?
He was perfect right there. You know, the puck came off the boards from behind the net right to him, and you know, he can't ask for any better positioning than that. He'd just go upstairs next time. But Matt's a good enough player. I'm sure he realizes that.
Red Raiders caught the Sandstoners that time, Mike, with out a defenseman in front of the net.
Yeah, that's you know, you always got to have one D in front of the net as much as possible, and your partner's in the corner working and playing the man. You've got to have the other defenseman right in front of the net there. And
is that a mix-up in communication, or is it just?
Yeah, that's probably what happened. It's a big thing. People don't realize how much talking is important on the ice. You're talking amongst your players, and you know, they've got to straighten that out. I'm sure they'll make the corrections after the first period.
Hewlin behind his own net for the Sandstoners. In forechecking for the Red Raiders is LeBombard. Here's a centering try for Matt Reed, but he was too well tied up on a play by Mike McCabe. Sandstoners back. Walker moving it over the line. Walker centers it in front, but a good play by Frank Joy as he had the Potsdam forward tied up in front of the net. That time Jeff Carey couldn't get his stick down on a play because Frank Joy did a good job of tying up the Potsdam player. Another big collision at center ice. This time Scott Service collides with Potsdam's Andy Smith. They both fell down on a play. Service with a puck once again. Now for Craig Terry. But as Craig Terry moved in over the line, the Red Raiders are guilty of offside.
The Potsdam defenseman did a real good job of stepping up and forcing the Massena player to go offsides like that, and he did his job, stood up at the blue line, and forced an offside, which that's a defenseman's job.
How much of playing defense is anticipation?
Quite a bit, but 80% of it's positioning and reading the play.
Off the draw, Kerwin for the Red Raiders behind his own net. Pass. This is Craig Terry. Terry now on the right side. McLean. Heath McLean's shot. Sean Grant was out, cut down the angle, made the save, and covers up for a face-off.
Yeah, Grant did a real good job, like you said, of coming out, and he did take the angle away and a shot from over there. I'm sure the Potsdam coach would like to see every shot Massena takes tonight from off to the side like that.
7:47 remaining here in our first period. 1-0 our score. Red Raiders in the lead on a goal by Brian LeBombard. The assist going to Josh Vanberg and Derek DeRocher. A power play goal for the Massena Central Red Raiders. Potsdam control the draw. Jonathan Huth Hoos moves in, and from the point now a shot right on, and an easy save off the stick of Allen. And Brian Garcia makes the save, and Garcia holds on for a face-off. That was Hoos, who just tried to slide the puck, and Garcia came out of his net that time.
Yeah, he came out of the net. It's aggressive goaltending, and sometimes he'll get caught like that. But more times than not, that'll be a good play by the goaltender to come out and force it forward like that.
Sandstoners are trying to apply some pressure in the Raiders' zone, but the Raiders come away. This is Mike Dion. Dion skates to center, plays in deep. Grant out of his net. Red Raiders in forechecking once again. Here's a shot that's swiped away. It was a weak one off the stick of Chad Willard. Now Hewlin going in the corner. Dougie Adams pinching in from the point, but the Red Raiders can't hold it in, and Chad Willard will regroup for the Red Raiders at center. A nice pass for Brian Terry. Terry now for Woodward. Back to Terry. Terry tries to play it in front. That goes off the stick of Allen. And we get a stoppage in play down to 6:50 remaining in our first period, and a chance to tell you that this hockey action is being brought to you live here tonight on Cable 36 by Bob Post Insurance, Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Wolf Clan Truck Stop, Burns Truck Stop number 9, Dick's Outboard Motor Shop, Michelex Plastics, C&M Ford, Burning Sky Office Products, and Billy's Bingo Hall. Our fine community-minded sponsors bringing you Northern Athletic Conference hockey action here on Edwards Production Sports. Sandstoners, Ed Kelleher slides along the boards in his own zone. Now Mike McCabe at center. Lets the puck get away from him. Now Tony Walker in his own zone, being hounded by Matt Reed. Center ice pass. Now moving in to join the play is Jeff Carey, but Carey had his teammate McCabe a stride offside at the Massena blue line. So with 6:17 remaining, first period, Red Raiders in the lead, 1-0. We'll be back right after this.
This game is being brought to you by the C&M Ford team of professionals who believe that the teams of today inspire the spirit of teamwork in the workforce of tomorrow. Support all of our children's teams, minor and high school. Remember, they are our future. C&M Ford is located at 216 East Orvis Street in Massena.
Potsdam off the face-off down in their own zone to regroup. This is Ed Kelleher. Now along the boards for Tony Walker. Walker's got McCabe and Carey going to center. Walker, nice move to get around his shot, right on the rebound. And the Red Raider defense clear into the corner. Now Schneider. Check that. Corey David plays the puck ahead for Spanberg. But we get a stoppage in play as the net comes off its moorings, and I believe they are saying a Massena player caused the delay in action, so therefore they'll bring the face-off back outside the Potsdam blue line.
The Massena player, LeBombard, really drove the net very well that time, and the Potsdam defenseman was basically forced to take him into the net like that, and so that brings the face-off outside.
Joe Stark sends out Rob Bicknell along with Jack Charlebois up front, along with Lloyd Howe. The Red Raiders reply here with Jamie Courier, Corey David, and Mike LaPointe. This is DeRocher's shot, and it's deflected in front. Sean Grant never saw it, but it went wide of the net, fortunately, for the Sandstoners. Now Courier for David. David trying to play in front. Now Mike LaPointe. LaPointe to the point. This is DeRocher. His shot. That deflects off a stick and into the corner. Now LaPointe behind the net. Tried to play in front, but David was too well tied up in front. Now Corey David goes after the loose puck. He's being watched by Hewlin on the play.
We've got a penalty coming up to Massena here. It looks like an elbowing penalty. We'll see Potsdam's power play, see if they can even up the score here.
So the Red Raiders a little bit too aggressive with their forecheck that time, and it's going to be Mike LaPointe going to the penalty box. And with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in our first period, we'll get a chance to see Potsdam's power play. There you see our score on the Cable 36 scoreboard. Massena leading 1-0 on a power play goal. .10:20 the time of the penalty. Mike LaPointe goes for elbowing. So Potsdam on a power play. They have Mike McCabe, Tony Walker, Jeff Carey up front. And back at the points, it's David Grant. Grant, who has a real good shot. I'm sure that's why Coach Joe Stark has him playing the point, along with Ed Kelleher. And speaking about a defenseman or a guy who possesses a pretty good shot from the point, Mike Hurlbutt, you don't have a bad one from there.
It's a good point shot can make a whole power play on some nights, and if he's got a good shot, that's why he's back there. That's for sure.
You want to keep the puck low if you're a defenseman, right from the point. It doesn't do a whole lot of good getting it up around.
Yeah,
the
you want to
section.
keep it, right on the ice or 2 or 3 inches above the ice, and all you got to do is hit the net. It doesn't have to be real hard, but
Tony Walker now back to the point. Kelleher holds in there. Now Dion after it. Red Raiders going with a penalty killing unit here of Adams, Willard, Dion, and Brian Terry. Dougie Adams keeps the puck away from Walker, but now McCabe couldn't find it in his skates, and this allows the Red Raiders to clear. Brian Terry skates at the center. Terry in over the line, a snapshot, and goaltender Sean Grant makes the easy save, but elects to hold on as the Red Raiders had another penalty killer moving right in there looking for a rebound.
Yeah, Massena did a great job in that sequence there, keeping the puck to the outside, kept Potsdam's power play. They didn't get just a couple of shots on the net there, and we've only got 3 seconds left, and their aggressive play in their own end by Massena, led to the 2-on-2 and a pretty good scoring opportunity back in Potsdam's end.
Down to 3:10 in our first period. Red Raiders continue to lead this hockey game by the score of 1-0. Potsdam will play it to center. Here's a long shot off the stick of Jack Charleboy. That was knocked down by Frank Joy. Now Matt Reed in his own zone. Reed a pass to center, but Spanberg couldn't control that on his skates. Potsdam play the puck back in deep. Hewlin off the boards at center ice. Rob Bicknell directs into the Red Raiders zone, but brought right back out. Now Matt Reed plays the puck in deep. Brian LeBombard going after it. Poked away, now Matt Reed. Reed runs into Bicknell. Here's DeRocher. He couldn't do anything with the puck, and DeRocher has to regroup in his own zone for the Red Raiders. Now Potsdam lift the puck high in the air, down to 2:10 in our first period. This is LeBombard. LeBombard losing it. Here's a shot by David Grant, and that missed on the short side. Now DeRocher moving into the slot area is John Hoos, but the Sandstoners couldn't get him the puck. Now pinching in from the blue line is Andy Smith. From the point, here's a shot ripped by Grant, and a save made with a blocker by Garsha. Now Spanberg out to center ice for the Red Raiders. Being watched by Kelleher, but Kelleher does a good job to take the puck away. But Red Raiders regain control. It's in front of backhander. And a save made as LeBombard took that shot. Minute 20 remaining here in our first period. Ryan Kerwin in his own end, being watched by Ryan Hoos and David Grant. Now Spanberg for LeBombard, but LeBombard was taken out of the play neatly by defenseman Smith. Less than a minute to play in our first period. Tony Walker plays the puck in deep. Sandstoners changing on the fly. Now Mike McCabe. McCabe intercepts. McCabe moves in on the backhand. Shoots, he scores. So McCabe happened to be Johnny on the spot that time, Mike, as he looked like he picked up a loose puck near the blue line and just worked in, waited, went to the backhand, and we'll get a look at it right here, Mike. Here it is.
Yeah, that's a good goal by Potsdam. They just, the last 2 or 3 minutes here, they've had some pressure in Massena's end, you know, and they took advantage of an opportunity that they were given. And you know, that's what you got to do. The most important part of the period is the last 2 minutes. And you know, Potsdam was patient, and they just took advantage of basically the one real good scoring chance they've had this period.
So now Tony Walker steals, and he rips a shot that goes wide over the goal. So the Sandstoners pick up a goal late in this first period to tie it at 1-1. 26 seconds remaining in the first period. Red Raiders work the puck in deep. Going after it is Larry Allen. We have a penalty coming up on the play to Massena, and it's going to be hitting from behind. And it's going to go to Chad Willard. As Willard goes to the penalty box, just 8 seconds remaining here in our first period. A chilly night here at the Massena Arena tonight. We hope that you are enjoying this telecast at home. There you see our score, 1-1. So Willard goes minute and a half for hitting from behind. 14:52. Shots on goal in that first period by Massena 11 and by Potsdam 5, and I agree with that. That was indicative the Red Raiders had the better of the scoring chances than you think, Mike?
Yeah, they certainly did. You know, they were in Potsdam's end, you know, basically the whole period, and you know, they had some pretty good scoring opportunities and a lot of shots, and Massena's defense did a real good job of keeping the puck in, and not only keeping the puck in, but getting shots through and onto the net, and the forwards got to be there for the rebounds.
Red Raiders did a good job getting on the scoreboard first, Mike, as it was Brian LeBombard scoring from Spanberg and DeRocher, and LeBombard basically left all alone in front of the net.
Yeah, he was. You know, he was in front of the net, at perfect position. Derek DeRocher did a great job getting the shot through. Like we had talked about that earlier this period. You know, the point shot doesn't have to be real hard, but you got it right on net and the rebound, and LeBombard was right there to put it in.
From a defensive standpoint, what'd you think from both teams?
I thought I was very impressed with Massena's defensive play. They did a great job of positioning. They always had a guy in position to pick up the loose pucks and break out of the zone. And Potsdam was a little bit rusty, I think, early in the period. You know, maybe a little nerves. Maybe it's a big game in Massena, and I think they did a decent job from the halfway point of the period to later in the period. Potsdam they were in position and started to make the plays that they should have been making earlier in the period.
Potsdam tied the game late in the first period with basically less than a minute to go in the period, and it was Mike McCabe who scored the goal, and we're going to get a look at that here. There you see good forechecking, and McCabe just picked up a loose puck.
Yeah, it's a big thing. You know, like I said, Potsdam made a real big hit on their forecheck there and caused a turnover, and Potsdam had a player in position. You know, he picked up a loose puck, went in, and basically, took advantage of the opportunity that was given to him.
Right. Give Potsdam credit. They did a good job forechecking the Raiders, and they were able to create a mistake in the Red Raiders' zone.
They certainly did. That's a huge goal for Potsdam that late in the period, and like I had said before, the last 2 minutes of the period are the most important, and Potsdam was patient. They just got a turnover there and put the puck in the net. Before tonight's game, I had a chance to talk with the assistant coach of the Potsdam Central Sandstoners, Mark DeRushy. My guest is Mark Mad Dog DeRushy, the assistant coach of the Potsdam Sandstoners. And first of all, Mad Dog, how'd you get that nickname?
Well, it occurred when I was a young kid, and I used to be really aggressive playing hockey, and so the guys started calling me Mad Dog. I was smaller than everybody else, and I still went out there and tried to give it my all.
A Massena native, I'm sure you take ribbing from the guys playing hockey on Thursday night. How in the world did you get hooked up with Potsdam Central?
Well, I got a teaching job at Potsdam earlier this year. I teach math and science there at the high school, so Joe Stark asked me if I'd like to help out with the hockey program, and I said yes, certainly, I'd love to. I've always wanted to coach, and it's going really well.
Mark, a former Massena Central Red Raider, what does Potsdam-Massena rivalry mean?
Well, it's a local rivalry that's been going on for quite a while now, and it means a lot to both towns. You know, towns are in proximity to one another, so there's a lot of contact between the kids, and they razz each other quite a bit about the losses.
Did you have some big games against Potsdam?
When I was playing, yes, we had some good games. It was pretty evenly matched back when I graduated in '86. Both teams were pretty good, actually.
This Potsdam high school hockey team 6-3-1 on the season. You played some pretty good talent in New York State so far. Let's talk a little bit about some of the games. I know you've played St. Francis and, of course, Canton, one of the top teams this year.
Yes, we played Canton twice. Well, 3 times, actually. We lost to them twice and beat them in their own barn in their tournament in a shootout. And we also played Albany Academy, which we beat 4-3. They're a decent squad. And we also had a really tough loss to a strong St. Francis team. They had a really good team, fast skaters.
I was reading in the paper where you played Canton, I believe, 6 times between tournaments and regular seasons. Is that a lot to play a team in a season?
Sure, that's quite a few times, but at least Canton's good, and we're equally competitive with each other, so that should be beneficial to both squads.
Massena and Potsdam played in the consolation game of the Massena Invitational Tournament earlier this season. Potsdam won in overtime 4-3, another Massena-Potsdam typical battle. Talk about that game a little bit.
Well, Massena jumped out early on us to a 2-0 lead, and then we struggled to fight back to tie it within the first period. I don't know, it seems like our guys love to have their backs against the wall before they give it their all, but we struggled back in the first, and then Massena went ahead again. We tied it up, and then we were able to win it in overtime.
Some of the talent on Potsdam's hockey team, Tony Walker, Mike McCabe, do they lead you offensively?
Oh, definitely. McCabe, Walker, and Grant, those guys are leaders. Those are the kind of guys who can make individual plays and make the move on somebody to create opportunities for other players as well.
How about defensively?
Yeah, we have a decent defensive squad. We're young, we're working on it, and the guys are really working hard, and they're improving every day.
And how about the goaltending? Chris Koval?
Yes, Chris Koval's a great goaltender, as well as Sean Grant. We're very fortunate in that respect to have 2 young, good goaltenders.
So this Potsdam's team coming into tonight's game, what are you looking for out of Massena?
Well, we expect them to forecheck us pretty hard and usually probably get 2 men on the puck. We're going to try to break out of the zone effectively and try to put some pressure on their defense. They have a young defensive squad as well.
What are the keys tonight for Potsdam in order to win here at Massena?
Well, we have to forecheck strong, play good in the neutral zone, and definitely get the puck out of our own end when we start scrambling.
So that's the key tonight, is play well in your own zone?
Yeah, that's definitely most of it.
I noticed that you have a little cut up above the eye and some stitches. What happened there?
Yeah, well, Monday night I was playing in the NHL, Norwood Hockey League, and some guy flipped the puck out, and I caught it right above the eye.
You were the recipient. How many stitches?
10.
Mark, thanks so much for stopping by. Best of luck in the assistant coaching job. Best of luck here at Potsdam and in tonight's game.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
My guest has been Mark Nareshi, assistant coach for Potsdam Central, and you're watching Northern Athletic Conference hockey action here on Cable 36. Chip Chapman and Mike Hurlbut back at the Massena Arena. Glad to have you along. We are after 1 period of play in this hockey game between the Massena Central Red Raiders and Potsdam Sandstoners. We are tied 1-1. This game very similar to the Massena Invitational Tournament, in which these 2 teams met in a consolation game. The Red Raiders broke out in front early, 2-0, only to have Potsdam tie the game late in the period, 2-2. So the same thing, the same pattern following here. The Red Raiders scoring early to make it 1-0, and then Potsdam coming up with a goal late in the period to tie it at 1-1. Mike Hurlbut, captain of the Cornwall Aces. Let's talk a little bit about that. As when you found out about being captain over at Cornwall.
Yeah, it was a situation in Cornwall where Randy Velishek, who's played over 400 games in the NHL, he had his contract bought out by Quebec. He signed a contract for the remainder of this season and next year with the team in the International League. That vacated. He was a captain in Cornwall. That vacated that spot. We had 2 assistants there, but the coach Jacques Martin and management in Quebec decided that maybe I could step in and take Randy's place as a captain. This is my 5th season, and age-wise, I think there's only one other guy on the team older than me in Cornwall, and I just try to work hard, and I'm not the most vocal guy in the world, but I guess it's kind of your classic lead by example and work real hard as far as me being a captain.
What are some of the changes as a captain? What does that basically mean?
Well, the real big thing is I've got a much more contact with the coach, and I've got to act as a buffer or a liaison between the players and the coach. And he asked me about certain things like travel. Should we stay or should we go all the way back between cities? Or and a big thing right now at this point, we're about halfway through our season at the 40 game mark. And our guys starting to get tired. Are we practicing maybe a little too hard? Should we change things up to give the guys a little more of a break? And we've got a real young team there with like 10 or 11 guys. This is their first year, and your first year, in the minors or in the NHL, it's a real grueling schedule with 80 games and a lot of travel in there, and it can be quite tiring if you don't approach it right.
From the New York Rangers organization to the Quebec Nordique organization, were you surprised?
Shocked, I guess would be an understatement. I've told some people this, but I was actually packing my truck up to drive to New York for training camp. Got a phone call about a half hour before I was going to leave from the assistant GM in New York, Larry Plow, saying, Mike, we've made a trade and you're involved, and you'll be going to Quebec. And from that point on, it was just I was scrambling around trying to get pack some different things. Rather than drive to New York, I had to have my wife drive me to Montreal and catch a flight to Quebec. They wanted me up there as soon as possible to have testing done. And the first 3 or 4 days was it was kind of a whirlwind tour of Quebec's facilities and getting to know management and players, and it took me a good week to settle down there and be comfortable amongst the players again, like I was.
You went to training camp with Quebec. How did things go?
Good. I got off to a pretty good start, and one thing I try to do is establish a point where I'm comfortable in my play, and then take it from that day, say being the first day, take it from that day and just get better every day, which is what I did with Quebec, and they were very impressed with that. And played one exhibition game late in the exhibition season with Quebec against Calgary, and again, they were impressed with the way I played. I think I surprised them by they didn't realize how offensive I was, and some of their scouts and coaches were kind of caught off guard that I was jumping into the play as much as I was, and also playing real well on my own end, which is what I've got to do to be successful, whether it's here or in the NHL again.
We are after one period of play from the Massena Arena. I'm Chip Chapman, and alongside our guest color commentator tonight, and the captain of the Cornwall Aces of the American Hockey League, Mike Hurlbut, and we are chatting as Massena and Potsdam are just about ready to come back onto the ice. There you see our score after one period. Mike, knowing that Cornwall is this season the farm team, in the American Hockey League, did that make it kind of special for you being close to home?
Sure. I'd heard rumors over the summer, well, you're going to be traded to Quebec, and if you're in the minors, you'll be running across from Cornwall. But I just kind of dismissed them and didn't think much of it because I was, very happy in New York, and things were going pretty well there. But once I got traded and was assigned in October to Cornwall, that I've really enjoyed my time so far this season. It was a little bit of an adjustment. I'm used to coming home and not having much to do, but as a homeowner, I can always find something to do at home, whether it's with the snowblower or in fact today we were putting a kitchen sink in, so there's always something to do at home, and it's great playing in front of we've basically got 10 or 12 members of relatives and family members in the stands every game, which puts a little more pressure on me, and you always like to play real well at home, and that's something that I've really enjoyed this season, and in fact I think so far this has been my most enjoyable season as a pro, and I'm just really enjoying it right now, and hopefully things will work out with Quebec where I won't be around here later on this season. I can get called up to Quebec and hopefully make an impression there.
You have 23 games of NHL experience under your belt now, of course all with the Rangers last season. It has to be just special, It's
looking at the time, it was I was really concentrating on playing well there and making sure I didn't get sent back to Binghamton, and I feel that I took advantage of the opportunity I was given, and unfortunately I got hurt, kind of a freak thing in practice, really set me back a little bit. But you know, I've had a chance to look back on it all summer and this year, and you know, that's something that, you know, took me basically 20 years to achieve, and it was always a goal of mine growing up. You know, when I was 5 years old or 10 years old, it was always something I wanted to do, and you know, I was fortunate enough to have that happen last year, and it's something I'll certainly never forget.
We'll talk more about Mike Hurlbut's career after our second period, but we are ready to get back at the matter at hand tonight, and of course that's Northern Athletic Conference hockey action here on Cable 36. The teams are back on the ice, as we are tied 1-1 as we begin second period of play. Sandstoners with a power play here as we start this second period. They have Mike McCabe out there, Tony Walker, Ed Kelleher, Jeff Carey. Red Raiders replying here with Matt Reed, Brian LeBombard, Derek DeRocher, Ryan Kerwin as penalty killers. Potsdam in their own zone. Tony Walker. Left side intended for Carey. That was broken up. Now Walker has it at center. Gets away from one man. Walker moves in over the line. Rolls the puck in deep. Ryan Kerwin can't clear it. Now the Sandstoners can't keep the puck in. And Ed Kelleher now in his own zone.
Yeah, Potsdam's power play is a little unorganized right now. I think they're trying to get something going, but it's pretty late now. And you know, give Massena credit; they did a real good job of keeping them to the outside. Although we got 10 seconds left, so it looks like could be another power play for Massena or for Potsdam, excuse me. Well,
we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it looks like no, Massena's going to go on the power play here in 10 seconds once their penalty's expired.
That's like right, it's Jonathan Hoos. There you see Hoos.
Yeah, looks like maybe a high sticking call. Got to stick up on one of the Massena players in the corner.
As Hoos goes to the penalty box. For high sticking.
Number 11, John Hoos, better than high sticking.
1:11 of the second period is the time of the penalty to Hoos. So the Red Raiders now are on the power play, as there were 11 seconds remaining on the penalty on the Massena penalty when Hoos took the Potsdam penalty. So
Massena's back at full strength there. This should be, you know, this is a good opportunity for Massena to get some momentum going after that late goal by Potsdam in the first. Hopefully the power play here from Massena can capitalize.
Red Raiders in the Potsdam zone deep. Now the Sandstoners send out. Red Raiders have Frank Joy along with Chad Schneider, Matt Reed, Matt Woodward, and Brian Terry. The power play unit for Massena. David Hewlin out there along with Mike McCabe, Rob Bicknell, for Potsdam. Now the Red Raiders move in. Schneider plays in deep for Terry. Now at the point, Schneider. This is Reed. Woodward trying to set up in front, but he's being watched on the play by the Potsdam defenseman. And that's Andy Smith. This is Matt Reed, now for Schneider. Reed, penalized player back on, and a quick shot, and that's deflected wide of the net. Sandstoners clear the length of the ice, and they will be charged with icing. With 12 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in our second period. In a tie hockey game, there you see our score.
Massena did a real good job moving the puck around during that power play, but you know, not a lot of shots on the net. That's you know, you can move it around all day, but if you don't shoot the puck, you're not going to score. And it's Massena's maybe got to stop being a little more, start just shooting the puck and being a little less deliberate.
And just as we speak, Mike Lapointe picks up a rebound and scores, and puts the Red Raiders out in front 2-1.
Looks like one of the Potsdam defensemen once again left, missed his assignment in front of the net, and LaPointe was all alone in front of the net there and put the rebound home.
Here's the replay. It's off the draw in a shot, easy save. Grant really didn't do a great job. He left the rebound though.
Yeah, he had LaPointe went right to the net right off the face-off, and that's what he's got to do. It's a forward's job is to get in front and create havoc like that.
2:54 the time of the goal. LaPointe scores from Corey David. And the Red Raiders lead once again by the score of 2-1. Marty Andrews couldn't do anything with the puck at the Massena line. Now it's Courier. Courier checked on the play by Hoos. Holding the puck in is Dougie Adams. But no, they say it was a high stick. And the face-off will go just outside of the Potsdam blue line. 11:26 remaining here in our second period. Tonight's game is being brought to you here on Cable 36 by Bob Post Insurance, Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Wolf Clan Truck Stop, Burns Truck Stop number 9, Dick's Outboard Motor Shop, Michelex Plastics, C&M Ford, Burning Sky Office Products, and Billy's Bingo Hall. Those are our fine community-minded sponsors bringing you Northern Athletic Conference hockey. Here's a shot from the point that Sean Grant makes the save, and with Brian LeBombard on the doorstep, Grant elects to make the save. Brian LeBombard, who scored in the 2-2 tie against Saratoga. He also picked up 2 goals in the 3-2 loss earlier this season to St. Joe's. Picked up 4 goals the other day in the 7-6 win versus Rome. There you see our score on the Cable 36 scoreboard. Coach Tim Long has out Matt Reed, Josh Spanberg, Brian LeBombard, and at the points Ryan Kerwin and Derek DeRocher. Potsdam reply here with their first line. This is Smith with a puck. Their line of McCabe, Carey, and Tony Walker. From the point, DeRocher shooting. Oh, and it deflected. It went off the leg of defenseman Andy Smith, and that time the goaltender Sean Grant had to be alert.
Yeah, Derek DeRocher's done a real good job tonight shooting the puck, and he's getting doesn't have to be real hard like I said before, but he's getting the shot towards the net, and anything can happen.
Now DeRocher takes down Tony Walker, and we're going to have a penalty. So 10 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. And behind the play, there you see an injured Potsdam Sandstoner player as Joe Stark. The head coach is out to see, and it's going to be 2 penalties that are going to be assessed to Massena. So the referees did catch what happened behind the play also, apparently, as the original penalty was taking place right at the blue line, Mike.
Yeah,
and that was going to go to Derek DeRocher.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened to the Potsdam player, but it looks like because that guy's sitting in the penalty box, I mean, that's not by accident, I'm sure.
Well, we have this chance, and Massena leading 2-1. We're going to step out. We'll be right back.
Attention, attention, Burns Truck Stop number 9 is your one-stop place for tax-free gas, American and Canadian cigarettes, all your convenience store needs. So stop into Burns Truck Stop number 9 on Route 37 in Hogansburg for the 24-hour service you deserve.
Chip Chapman and Mike Hurlbut back at the Massena Arena. Glad to have you with us. Look out, right off the draw. That shot goes right up into the seats. The injured player for Potsdam was Mike McCabe, but he is back on the ice. So the Red Raiders now, Mike, kind of in a hole here as a 2-man advantage for Potsdam.
Yeah, certainly. This is it's something you hate to see if you're a Massena fan, but great if you're a Potsdam. 5-on-3 is always an excellent chance, obviously, for for
How
a
do you
goal to be
play
scored.
this in the triangle as a
There's a couple ways. You can play a
short-handed
triangle with 3 guys moving around, or you can keep one defenseman in front of the net and have a forward and a defense go up and down on each side, which we usually use that, and it works pretty effective, in the American Hockey League. But every coach is different, and they're always comfortable with a system that they've always used before.
From the point, this is Dave Hewlin. A nice pass to Sandstoners. That was Mike McCabe who tried to play it in front for Jeff Carey. Carey's being tied up by Frank Joy. Now Joy pokes the puck free, has some room, and sends the puck down the ice.
Frank Joy did a great job that time. He anticipated the play as a defenseman. Read where the puck was going, stepped in and knocked the puck away, and was able to clear it out. Great play by Frank.
Chad Willard tried to move up that time and steal a puck, but had his stick lifted on the play. Tony Walker, McCabe, and Jeff Carey up front on this Potsdam power play, which has 13 seconds remaining on the double minor to the Red Raiders. Behind the net, this is Carey. McCabe tries to set up in front. Now moving right in and taking the shot is Carey, and making the pad save is Garsha. And the Red Raiders now back to full strength. They change on the fly. Matt Reed takes a man out in the Potsdam zone. Josh Spanberg at center ice, can't control a bouncing puck. Dion can't control. Now David Grant. Grant checked on the play by Matt Reed. Dion plays along the glass in his own zone. 8:25 remaining in our second period. Red Raiders clinging to a 2-1 lead. Chad Schneider appears to be down. I don't know if he thought he had the puck in his equipment or what, but
I'm not sure. It looks like we got another penalty called, or maybe coincidental minors here. Looks like one from each team going.
Schneider skating to the penalty box. He appears to be sore.
Yeah, he might have gotten a slash there. I think they were giving each other the stick pretty good, and that's probably what happened.
So it's Chad Schneider going to the penalty box for Massena, and I believe it's Marty Andrews going for Potsdam. There you see our score. Here's a shot kicked out by Garsha. And Mike Lapointe. Lapointe, and joining the play is Corey David. 2-on-2. Red Raiders move in over the line. Lapointe tries to center one in front, but David was too well tied up. Now Jamie Courier. Courier's checked by Grant. Corey David comes away. David fires a shot right on. Easy save as Grant saw it all the way, and he holds on for a faceoff.
Yeah, getting back to the 5-on-3 that Potsdam had, Massena did a great job. The 3 men worked really hard, kept the puck to the outside, and I believe Potsdam only had 1 shot. If you're the Potsdam coach, I'm sure they're a little frustrated right now. They're only having 1 shot on a 5-on-3 power play, but Massena did a great job. They kept the puck to the outside, and were really aggressive.
7 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in our second period. Potsdam control a drop. They have Tony Walker breaking at center ice, but the pass is behind him. Now Francis out on the ice for Massena. Corey David knocks down a Sandstoner player. Tony Walker in forechecking, and Walker has the puck. Walker's knocked down, and we have another penalty coming up to Massena. Corey David gets
like
the gate.
Yeah, looks like a tripping call on David.
There you see Corey David in there with .7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in our second period. Mike McCabe, Tony Walker, Jeff Carey stay out there for Potsdam. Ed Kelleher at the point, along with David Grant. Red Raiders reply here with Derek DeRocher, Ryan Kerwin, Brian Terry, and Josh Spanberg. Kelleher at center ice. He'll play back in his own zone for David Grant. Grant, a risky pass, and it's almost broken up by Josh Spanberg. This is Tony Walker. Walker puts it right on the stick of Jeff Carey. Back for Walker, and he'll move it over the line. Walker's got Carey breaking to the net. McCabe is behind him. Walker tries to push the puck along the boards. Now McCabe. McCabe trying to get away from a Kerwin check. 40 seconds remaining on the Red Raider penalty. McCabe is knocked down by Spanberg. Now McCabe and Kerwin come along the boards, and they end up with a puck underneath Ryan Kerwin, and that's where play will stop.
Massena's doing a real good job forechecking on their penalty killing, keeping Potsdam's power play a little disorganized here. And then, when Potsdam does get set up, I think they may be looking to be a little too fancy. I'm always biased as a defenseman. They'll get the puck back to the point and shoot it, but it's the simplest play, and sometimes when the power play is struggling, that's the best thing to do.
Off the draw, Red Raiders control. Brian LeBombard moving in over the line, but as he attempted to take a shot, he was too well tied up on the play by David Hewlin. Now in front, Matt Reed, but before he could control the bouncing puck, it was poke checked off his stick. So LeBombard and Reed doing a good job keeping the Sandstoners in their own zone here as the Red Raiders trying to kill off the final seconds. Here's a centering try in front, but nobody home for Massena. So the penalty is about to expire, and the Red Raiders back at full strength. A big collision between Hoos and Reed in front of the Red Raider bench. Now Dougie Adams and his shot, and that's taken high off the body of netminder Sean Grant. Frank Joy, and another penalty coming up on the play. And hitting from behind to Potsdam. And Mike Hroba, you haven't had a chance to put that pencil down too much here in this second period.
No, the action's picked up pretty much, especially on the way to the penalty box there. So, I think both teams have picked up the intensity here in the second period from the first, and one of the outcomes of increased intensity is sometimes you get some more penalties.
There you see Jonathan Hoos in the penalty box. Hoos, who's had a goal against Norwood this season, another one against Salmon. Picked up a goal and 2 assists in the 4-4 tie against Canton. Hoos in the penalty box for a minute 24 remaining on his penalty. 5:30 in our second period. Bad hob off the boards, but Potsdam were able to clear in front of their own net. Here's the centering attempt, and Spanberg directed that one wide of the Potsdam net. Matt Reed in the corner. Red Raiders have no one in front of the net. Now Reed goes to the side of the net. This is Ryan Kerwin. Now for Reed. Reed sends it towards the net. It's deflected. Potsdam can't clear. Derek DeRocher. Now for LeBombard. LeBombard shooting. And I think Grant got a piece of that one. It's held in only momentarily. Now cleared. A race for the puck. Out of his net and into the corners, Brian Garcia. Garcia will play to center. Nice play by the Massena netminder. Now Matt Reed. In the slot for LeBombard. He can't control it on his stick. Now breaking into the net is Dion, and a bouncing puck broken up by the Potsdam defense. Red Raiders trying to open it up here offensively. 4:30 remaining, second period. 15 seconds on the Red Raider power play. Potsdam have out there Rob Bicknell penalty killing along with Ed Kelleher, Mike McCabe, and David Grant. Red Raiders. Willard setting up in front. He was alone momentarily, but the Red Raiders couldn't get him the puck. Penalized player back on for Potsdam. They're at full strength. This is Hoos. Hoos moves in over the line. Now for Bicknell. He fires it and he rips it wide of the mark. Now in the corner. Out to center ice, Woodward. Plays behind the Potsdam net. And here we go again. Slashing this time is called. We did find out that the Potsdam goal, so far the only goal that they've scored in this hockey game, was by Mike McCabe, and it was unassisted. So we may want to add it right in there, so we'll have it for future reference. David Hewlin goes to the penalty box. .11:18, the time of the penalty. And the Red Raiders will be on the power play. Frank Joy at the point. Now Willard. This is Chad Willard moving right out in front. And he took a shot. Grant made the save, but the net came off its moorings, and there you see referee St. Louis putting the net back, and the face-off will remain in the Potsdam zone.
The Massena forward did a real good play there. Instead of going back to the point for the point shot, he tried to come around the front of the net. He had, the two other forwards right in front there for the screen or the tip-in, and that's a good play when the point shot's not working.
And I noticed that defenseman Kelleher left Willard in a corner to go back out in front, and when he did, that allowed Willard to just walk right in front.
Yeah, again, that's positioning and experience, especially. You just got to be patient sometimes. Sometimes the best play is not to do anything, and just kind of hold your ground and look around to see what's happening rather than react to what is happening.
Nice save right there by Sean Grant, as Grant made a nice save on the deflection as DeRocher took the shot. It was deflected in front, and Grant made the save, and he held on for a face-off. Sean Grant, who had a shutout earlier in the season, 16 saves against OFA. He also has made 20 saves and 31 saves in 2 games against Canton. Red Raiders moving in, a shot kicked out by Spanberg. He falls down on the play, and that allows Potsdam to clear to center. Sandstoners at their own blue line. Broken up. Now kicking it ahead is David Grant, but Ryan Kerwin comes away. This is Matt Reed. Reed moving in, shooting. Tony Walker deflected that one off his stick and into the corner. Penalized player for Potsdam has 15 seconds remaining on his penalty, and 2:20 left to play here in our second period. Massena leading 2-1.
Yeah,
nice pass. Brian LeBombard. LeBombard moves in, but a penalty called once again.
Yeah, the Potsdam's going to on the way to the penalty box again. Looks like a hooking call on the Potsdam player. So the Massena's spending a lot of time with their specialty teams this period especially.
So hooking is the call, and it goes to Mike McCabe. There you see McCabe going to the penalty box. McCabe, one of the leading scorers on this Potsdam team, with 2 goals and a 4-2 loss to St. Francis. He picked up the game winner against OFA in a 3-2 win. McCabe goes a minute and a half for hooking, and Joe Stark has called timeout here with 2:14 remaining in our second period. And Massena in the lead 2-1. So with a timeout on the ice, we're going to take timeout. You're watching Northern Athletic Conference hockey action right here, live on Edwards Production Sports.
I was driving down Route 37 in Hogansburg trying to find someplace to eat that is not your everyday dull food. I came to the Wolf Clan truck stop and saw how clean and neat it was. Wow, look at the great gas and Canadian and American cigarettes. So I pulled into the large lot and went inside to find breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus that were not the same old thing. What's this? Surf and turf? Stuffed mushrooms and escargot? This is someplace different. The Wolf Clan truck stop, Route 37 in Hogansburg.
Welcome back to the Massena Arena with 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining here in our second period. And our score is 2-1 in favor of the Massena Central Red Raiders. There you get a look at one of our referees for tonight's game, Butch Martin. Butch Martin from the Lake Placid area. Red Raiders here with a power play. Once again, have Matt Reed, Brian LeBombard, Josh Spanberg up front. And they have Brian Terry and Derek DeRocher back at the points. Potsdam now only down 1 man, and Spanberg with a puck. No one in front of the net once again, though, for Massena. Here,
Yeah.
Mike. And
Yeah, it's hard for either the point man or the high forward there to take a shot when there's nobody in front of the net. It's hard to beat a goalie from the blue line.
now LeBombard moved out in front, but not even sure if he was able to get the shot on net. Spanberg falls down. He gets it to LeBombard. It's loose, and the Red Raiders score. Matt Reed.
Once again, the Massena player, Matt Reed, was in the right place at the right time, perfect position in front of the net, and he just picked up the loose puck there and put it into the empty net. Kind of a broken play, I guess, on Massena's power play. Just kind of squirted through, and Massena was able to take advantage of it.
Here we got to look at the replay as Spanberg was knocked down, and I think LeBombard just slid the puck across to a wide open Matt Reed, and he made no mistake. Matt Reed picks up the power play goal. Brian LeBombard and Josh Spanberg pick up assists. $13:20 the time of that power play goal, and the Red Raiders lead Potsdam by 2. Garcia makes the save on that shot. Plays in the corner for Dougie Adams. Chad Willard out there. Brian Terry. Matt Woodward. In front of the net, Garcia was caught out of position. And Mike, the Sandstoners take advantage.
Yeah, they do. It's been in their end the whole period, mostly due to the penalty killing situations that they've been in, and Massena being on the power play. But there you go. It's just kind of a fluke bounce. Garcia's trying to get back into the net, and then puck goes off his leg and into his own net. Just a lucky break for Potsdam and a bad bounce for Massena.
That's right. And here we go. We've got to look at it again. We just caught the tail end of that one as Adams was sprawling to get back in his net, but Bicknell got it unassisted, as you saw. Garcia trying to get back in his net. That goal comes with just about a minute remaining here in our second period, so that makes it a 3-2 Massena lead. This is Dion from the point. His shot was partially deflected by Tony Walker, and it just slowly rolled to netminder Sean Grant.
That could be a big break for Potsdam. Getting a goal like that, they've been killing penalties all period, and I was just about to say that Massena was fortunate to score in the power play. It's just a matter of time, basically. Potsdam was getting, I think their penalty killers are getting a little tired, and Massena was getting some good opportunities. Then Potsdam goes right down Massena's end and gets a break like that. So it could be a big thing for them. Once again, it's late in the period.
And once again, Mike, as in the first period, Potsdam pick up a goal late in the period. Now David Grant rushes the length of the ice, and he took a shot, but it was wide of the net, and he was being hounded by Frank Joy that time. Now Matt Reed overskates the puck, and Mike McCabe has it. 20 seconds remaining in our second period. Puck is sent in deep. Red Raiders back in their own zone. Now Schneider knocks it away from in front of the net. Just as Grant was ready to cock the gun, he fell down on the play. And that's the way our second period is going to end here, with the Massena Central Red Raiders in the lead by the score of 3-2. We'll wait to see if they give us shots on goal here in the second period.
Shots on goal in the second period for Potsdam 4, for a two-period total of 9, for Massena 12, for a two-period total of 23. Again, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the Raiders play again Saturday night against St. Catholic High School.
So our score 3-2. Mike, and in that second period, the Red Raiders came up with 2 goals in that period. Mike LaPointe put the Red Raiders ahead 2-1 with the assist going to Corey David. And then they went ahead 3-1 on Matt Reed's power play goal from Brian LeBombard and Josh Spanberg. That was at the 13:20 mark of the second period. That made it 3-1. But then late in that period, Rob Bicknell picked up a loose puck, and Bicknell was able to put it behind Brian Garcia before he could get back into the net. And that made it a 3-2 hockey game. And that's where we stand after 2 periods of play. My guest is Mike Hurlbut, the captain of the Cornwall Aces of the American Hockey League. And here we'll go, as I think we're going to have a couple of replays coming up, Mike, and maybe some replays on Mike LaPointe's goal, which made it 2-1 at the time, as we'll get a look at it. Came off the draw. Once again, it just looked like Potsdam failed to pick up.
Yeah, I don't know if Potsdam's defenseman, he had position initially, and it looks like he maybe lost an edge or just got tripped up a little bit, but fell down, and that enabled the Massena player to be basically all alone in front of the net, and he put the puck home.
So as I mentioned, that made it 2-1 at that point, as LaPointe's goal with the assist going to Corey David, and that was at 2:54 of that second period. Now Massena go ahead 3-1 on the power play, and there you see Josh Van Berg poked it ahead to Brian LeBombard, I think, who just slid it across to a wide open Matt Reed, and it was a power play goal, and that made it 3-1.
Yeah, not a real pretty goal, but they all count, and Matt Reed was in perfect position, like I'd said there before, and I believe 17 from Massena made a great pass across the crease to see Matt open there, and open net. It's pretty hard to miss those.
As a forward, you'd love to have those chances,
As a
right?
defenseman, yeah, I'd like to have a couple.
So then late in the period, there you see Garsha having trouble getting back in his own net, and Rob Bicknell gets credit for the goal. And as you mentioned, a tough goal for the Red Raiders to give up, because they had the momentum going. They were winning 3-1, and another goal late in the period.
Yeah, that's just a bad bounce from Massena, and a lucky break for Potsdam, like I had said, and those things happen, and once again, it's late in the period for Potsdam to score, and it gives them maybe a little momentum going into the third period, and we should have a great third period coming up here, and hopefully Massena can rebound from a goal like that. They're still ahead 3-2 in their own building, so it's a good sign.
You were mentioning a moment ago that as a defenseman, you'd like to have some of those nice goals, those easy goals. What, you played some 30-some games. Last I looked, you had 7 goals, 16 assists for 23 points. Is it a little bit higher? Or
I got a few more assists.
Right?
7 goals I believe I still have 7 goals, but a few more assists now. I think I'm up to 27 points maybe. And a big thing for me is to contribute offensively, and that's one of the stronger points of my game. And the power play, you get a lot of points in the power play, but I'd like to have a couple open nets. It's always nice to get 1 or 2 of those a year. But and then again, that's, if I stay at the blue line, shoot the puck in, and they all count. Doesn't matter how they go in.
Okay, we're going to step away right now with our score, 3-2 in favor of Massena over Potsdam. But we'll be back and talk more with the captain of the Cornwall Aces, Mike Hurlbut, right after this. You're watching Northern Athletic Conference hockey action, and it's live right here on Cable 36. Welcome back to the Massena Arena. We're after 2 periods of play with the Massena Central Red Raiders leading the Potsdam Sandstoners by the score of 3-2, and my guest is Mike Hurlbut. And Mike, let's talk a little bit about your career. Of course, reflect back on your days at St. Lawrence University.
I had 4 real good years there. It's a great school to go to, and close to home, which is a big thing for me. I had some chances to go out west, and also maybe over to UVM. They offered me a full scholarship, but I really couldn't see going too far from home. And there's 2 Division I schools within a half hour of Massena. And 4 real strong years there. We had 3 great teams after my freshman year, my sophomore, junior, and senior years. We had 3 real good teams. We won the ECACs back-to-back my junior and senior years. My junior year, we lost the national championship to Lake Superior in overtime, which still I hate to think about that. And and capped off my senior year with first team ECAC, and one of the things that I'm the proudest about, because this is a goal of mine from way back, and when I first started playing high school here in Massena, was to be an All-American at the Division I level, and I was fortunate enough that that happened in my senior year as a first team All-American in the East, and a lot of fun times at St. Lawrence, and I met a lot of good players, and still have a lot of good friends there.
Of course, we cover St. Lawrence University here on Edwards Production Sports, and Joe Marsh, outstanding coach for the St. Lawrence University Skating Saints.
Yeah, he's done a great job there. His first year was my freshman year. He came in and took over for Mike McShane, who had actually recruited me. We struggled the first half of my freshman year, which was Joe's first year, of course, and but after that, brought in some players that really helped us, and players got used to his style of coaching, and You know, he's a great motivator, just, you know, a great guy. You wouldn't meet a greater guy, you know, anywhere, whether it's hockey or, you know, in business or anything. He just do anything for you, and it's just got the highest regards for Joe Marsh.
Now, from St. Lawrence University, you went on to play with Denver, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, I signed basically the day after I finished my college career at St. Lawrence, and signed with the Rangers, who had drafted me the year previous, and went out to Denver. Played the last month of the season when they had their farm team there at the time, and played the remainder of the regular season, and then playoff games, and then returned to school. Finished up for my degree. Finished up. And then, you know, it was on to my first real training camp in the following fall, which would have been the fall of '89.
And then on to Flint the next season?
Yeah, the Rangers had moved their team from Denver to Flint. You know, I first played my first year professionally, full year in Flint. Had a pretty good year. I think I had like 37 points or 36 points in 74 games. And, you know, it was a big adjustment for me. You know, it's away from home. It was a new style of hockey, a whole year. You know, a lot of games. You know, the International League plays 82 games, and which is longer than 80 that I'm playing now. And just a real long season. And you know, got through the first year right until the last game. I broke my thumb in the last game, so it was, you know, pretty. I was fortunate I stayed healthy my first year, and you know, then look forward to my second year, which. Rangers moved their farm team again to Binghamton this time, back in the American Hockey League, a little closer to home, just 4 hours down 81 there, and you know, got off to a rough start. My first, I think it was the first or second day of training camp, broke my wrist, and I was out 6 weeks with that, and just had a tough time all year, you know, getting back into the lineup and staying there on a consistent basis, and then broke my thumb later during the season, missed another month there, and just. A very frustrating year. And,
now, at that time, was John Paddock coaching?
Yes, John Paddock was a coach there, and he's the head coach in Winnipeg. He's been there since that season. He got the job right after that year. Ron Smith took over as the head coach my third year pro, which was the second year in Binghamton, and just a complete turnaround.
You played the full season that
season. Played the full
season,
right? Played 79 of the 80 games. Missed the last game because he sat out 6 or 7 of us. It didn't mean anything, and I thought I was pushing my luck. Sometimes I wish I'd played 80 games to say I had played every game during the season, but you know, I didn't want to push my luck, as I said. And I played 5 exhibition games, 79 regular season games, and we ended up playing, I believe it was 11 playoff games that year, and so it was a real long season, but one I really enjoyed, and really basically, you know, it helped my career immensely. It was the last year of my contract when New York came up with a real big year, offensively and defensively. I think I led the team in plus minus, and also led the defenseman in scoring with 54 points or something like that. So I just really worked hard, and you know, Ron just gave me free reins, just go out and play your game, and that's what I did.
We are after 2 periods of play from the Massena Arena. The Massena Central Red Raiders leading the Potsdam Sandstoners by the score of 3-2. I'm talking with Mike Hurlbutt, the captain of the Cornwall Aces of the American Hockey League, and I'll be back to chat more with Mike right after this. You're watching Northern Athletic Conference hockey action here on Edwards Production Sports. Welcome back to the Massena Arena. Chip Chapman along with Mike Hurlbutt. We're after 2 periods of play. Red Raiders leading by the score of 3-2 over the Potsdam Sandstoners. And Mike, we're bringing your career up to date. We're 1992-93 season. You're at Binghamton, and all of a sudden you get a call from the New York Rangers.
Yeah, it was kind of funny the way it worked out. I'd gotten off to a real good start in Binghamton, and I think it was 18 games, and I had 17 points, and started off the way I finished the year before under Ron Smith. Had a new contract, so things were all set there. Didn't have to worry about not having a job next year. And my wife and I were out at the mall, and I get back and I got a message on my machine. And once I heard it was Ron Smith, I said, "Well, Julia, either I've been traded or I've been called up." So we just sat and played the message. I got back to Ron Smith, you know, and sure enough, they called me up, and he said, "Just go up and play your game and see what happens. I don't know if it's for 2 games or the rest of the year. Just you know, just do your best." And that's the approach that I took.
Describe the first time at Madison Square Garden, or the first shift.
It was pretty exciting at the Garden. My first game was actually in Philadelphia, and Philly was playing real well at the time, and we went in there and we just got, I think it was 7-3 or something like that. The score really not too important to me now, but you know, it was quite a thrill to step on the ice, and a little nervous my first few shifts, but then I settled down and you know, did a pretty good job, I thought, for my first game, and then kind of got more confidence as each game went on, and you know, it was just, you know, a thrill of a lifetime, and just a lot of fun to be there now that I can sit back and look back at. But at the time, there's a lot of pressure playing there, and especially in New York. You know, the team really struggled last year, and it was frustrating, you know, to be there and see the talent that's there and not win every game. But at the same time, it was my first time in the NHL, and something I'd always looked for. So I was just trying to enjoy it as much as I could.
You had a chance to play with players like, of course, Mark Messier, Brian Leach.
Yeah, you know, yeah, just great players. You know, Kevin Lowe was there, a 10 or 11-time All-Star. You know, you mentioned Messier, one of the better forwards to ever play in the NHL. Brian Leach could go down as one of the best defensemen next to Bobby Orr to ever play, and just a ton of talent there. I mean, Beesbrook in the net, Richter, just great, you know, great group of guys basically, and just a lot of talent, but really frustrating. And New York's media was on us all the time about not winning,
sure,
and, not winning as much as we should. And then I went through the coaching change, which was that was quite a experience for me. You know, Roger Nielsen was fired, and they replaced him with Ron Smith up from Binghamton. So things were looking even better for me. Ron was very familiar with the way I could play, and then played 3 games for Ron, and then you know, got hurt in practice, which is the most frustrating. But I still think about that now, and I try not to. But it's you know, I had everything was going pretty well, and had finally gotten there, and then to be basically set back with a knee injury in practice, and I missed 6 weeks. And by the time I was ready to play, you know, basically the season was over in New York, and so I finished the season in Binghamton.
Teams are back out on the ice as we are ready for third period action from the Massena Arena. 3-2 our score. Mike guesting with Mike Hurlbutt, the
Thanks.
captain of the Cornwall Aces of the American Hockey League. Sandstoners with a puck in the Massena zone. Here's a shot by Hewlin, and Hoos tried to direct the puck but failed on his attempt. And now Matt Reed comes away. Reed now for Spanberg. Spanberg moving in over the line, and his shot's deflected high and over the glass and out of play here at the Massena Arena. There you see some of the fans in attendance here at Massena Arena tonight. Nice crowd on hand despite the rather cold conditions here in Massena on a balmy, probably 9 below night.
Good night for the hot chocolate that we got right now, and maybe some long johns. I should have worn a pair of those tonight. But yeah, real good crowd on hand. This is my first high school game, and I think probably 6 years. So it's good to see the people in Massena are still supporting the team like I have for, you know, the last 20 years or 30 years or forever.
There you see some more of the fans. You don't. I'm sure with your busy schedule, you haven't had a chance to see St. Lawrence University play yet.
No, I haven't. The only time I've seen them play was actually on Channel 36. I was watching the replay of it 2 or 3 weeks ago. I believe they played RPI, and I was watching a bit of that game. So it's hard to see the games live.
Got off to a great start, and then lately they've had trouble.
Well, they ran into that tough Clarkson squad. I hate to say it, but you know, Mark Morris is doing a great job with the Clarkson team, and it's always a huge game, much the same as Massena Potsdam, and you know, that's really. It kind of maybe set them back there, but they'll be there in the end, I'm sure.
Kelleher in the corner. He's checked on the play. And we get a stoppage in play. And another penalty coming up? Yeah.
We got maybe one from each team going here, Chip.
Okay. It's going to be Chad Willard from Massena. And it's going to be for Potsdam. We'll have to wait on the number. 13:32 remaining here in our hockey game. 3-2 our score. There you see some more of the spectators in attendance here tonight. Another close Massena-Potsdam matchup here tonight with the coincidental minors. The teams will play with a full complement of players. Mike Dion pinching in. Here's a shot by Courier, but it was blocked in front by the Potsdam defense, and the Sandstoners are able to clear. Willard and Carey take the penalties. Now this is Mike Lapointe. Lapointe for the Red Raiders, shoots, and a save made by Grant, and the puck just dribbled wide of the Potsdam net. John Hoos. Hoos back the other way. He's got David Grant with him. Hoos has it poke checked off his stick. A good play by Mike Dion, the Massena defenseman. Now Hoos is tied up from behind by Courier, but right on the stick of Grant, he lets his shot go. And a save made by Garsha. He covers up for a face-off. And the Sandstoners applying some pressure.
Potsdam may be getting a little life from from that late goal at the kind of the fluky bounce that it took there, and it looks like they've gotten a little life from it. They've come out pretty strong in the third, but Massena's playing well. They're right there too, so this should be a real good third period with a 1-goal difference.
Matt Reed on a draw against McCabe. It's McCabe out there with Jack Charlebois, along with Tony Walker. Red Raiders replying with LeBombard, Spanberg, and Matt Reed. This is Matt Reed for LeBombard. LeBombard now center ice on the stick of Spanberg. Spanberg's got Reed going to the net, but McCabe runs him off the play. Now at the point, Ryan, it's LeBombard. LeBombard shoots. Knocked down in front. Here's a shot by Kerwin. Right on the stick, the Raiders score! Kerwin took the shot. I think Matt Reed, it came to Matt Reed, but it was like a bouncing puck. And it went right off of Reed's stick and right to Spanberg, I think, and Spanberg's going to get the goal. There's the shot. It went right to Reed, and he plays for Spanberg. And it is now a 4-2 Massena lead as Josh Spanberg will pick up the goal. Here it is. There's the shot. It rolled right to Reed. It looked like Reed wanted to direct it toward the net, but it went off his stick, right onto the stick of Josh Spanberg. And Spanberg makes it 4-2. LeBombard and Kerwin picking up assists.
3 minutes, 7 seconds.
3:07, the time of the Red Raider fourth goal, and they now lead it by 2 at 4-2. This is DeRocha from the point, ripping one high over the net. Now LeBombard trying to get away from a check. Slowed up on the play. This is DeRocha. Now Kerwin. In front, causing a screen on a play for Massena was Josh Spanberg, but unfortunately for the Raiders, they have to regroup at center ice as the puck went out over the blue line. Now the net comes off its moorings, and we get another stoppage in play with 10 minutes and 55 seconds remaining here in our third period. And a chance to remind you that this hockey action is being brought to you by Bob Post Insurance, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Wolf Clan Truck Stop, Burns Truck Stop number 9, Dick's Outboard Motor Shop, Michelix Plastics, C&M Ford, Burning Sky Office Products, and Billy's Bingo Hall. Those are our sponsors bringing you Northern Athletic Conference Hockey live tonight here on Cable 36 and Edwards Production Sports. Puck ended up on the net behind the Massena net, and they say that a Potsdam player put it there, therefore face-off will come back outside the blue line.
Yeah, I believe it was 3 for Potsdam. Took the shot, and a pretty good shot, but he missed the net, and the puck just hopped up on the back there.
That was David Grant. Now Willard for Terry. It's behind him. Red Raiders have Willard, Woodward, and Terry up front. Joy and Schneider back at the points. Potsdam reply here with David Grant, David Hewlin, Jonathan Hoos. This is Hoos with a puck now. A pass at center ice intended for Marty Andrews, but it was behind him. Now Woodward between his own legs. Checked on a play by Hewlin. Now Schneider can't find it. Potsdam come away 2-on-1. Grant, a pass intended for Andrews, but he just couldn't control it on his stick. Woodward for Massena. Oh, Woodward is belted on the play by Hoos. Now Chad Willard. Willard for Craig Terry. It's too far for him. Going after it in the Potsdam zone is Jeff Carey. Carey skating behind his own net. Checked on the play by Scott Service. Schneider holding in. Now for service. Broken up. Mike McCabe. McCabe was falling down on the play and sends it the length of the ice, and Potsdam are going to be guilty of icing. 9:22 remaining. Third period. Red Raiders in the lead. 4-2. We'll be back after this.
Come to the hall that started all. Billy's Bingo Hall now offers Midnight Madness. Cards are on sale at 10:30. Bingo starts at 11:30. Same game schedule as day and evening sessions. Enjoy the snack bar, and bingo is 7 days per week with a guaranteed winning of $3,250 per session. Starting September 18th, Midnight Bingo will be on Saturday nights. Billy's Bingo Hall is located on Route 37 in Hogansburg.
Red Raiders moving in over the line. Now Craig Terry gets his stick rather high in the air as he was being spun around on the play. Dougie Adams for Dion. Red Raiders push the puck out to center. Now losing it is Smith for Potsdam, but Sandstoners move in once again. Mike Dion intercepts a pass in front of the net, plays it into the corner. Here's a check coming up. Behind the net, it's Garcia. Now along the boards for service. Terry. Terry is leveled on the play by David Grant. Craig Terry a little slow to get up.
We're seeing some big hits by Potsdam here, but they're down by 2 goals. They might be a little better off shooting the puck rather than going for the big hits. And it's good to see them with aggressive forecheck, but they've got to get control of the puck and shoot the puck.
Ryan Kerwin being forechecked on the play. David Grant falls down. Jonathan Hoos going in front of the net, but the pass was broken up by the Red Raider defense. Now Matt Reed. Reed all by himself. In over the line, fires a shot. That's high off the glass. Derek DeRocher holds in, but now Josh Spanberg. Behind the net, centered in front. A shot, Matt Reed. Point blank range and steered away by Grant.
Good shot by Reed. He was high in the slot there, reading the play. He's a high forward to get ready to back check if he had to, and read the play real well. The puck came out, and he was right in position to shoot.
So the Red Raiders up by 2 goals, and another good scoring opportunity there a moment ago. Mike, so far, your analysis of the game up to this point. I mean, 4-2 Red Raiders. They've had, I'd say, the majority of the scoring opportunities.
Yes, they have. They put a lot of pressure on Potsdam at times. I think a lot of that was to do, with the power plays they had, especially in the second period. But the play's pretty even in the third period here.
Here's a shot kicked out by Grant. Spanberg plays the puck back in. This is Kelleher. Keller being checked on the play by Reed. In the corner, Red Raiders forechecking. Matt Reed in there along with Ryan Kerwin. Now the puck out at center ice is Derek DeRocher. Sent in. Potsdam in over the line. Tony Walker going after a loose puck with Mike McCabe. And Brian Garcia saw that the numbers were not favorable for Massena. He elected to come out and smother the puck before Potsdam can do any further damage.
Yeah, that was a real smart play by the Massena goaltender. It looked like he was going to play the puck initially, and then he just fell on it. Made the real safe play, especially at this stage of the game with 6:50 left in the third period, and up by a couple goals. Nice safe play, and hopefully Massena can get the face-off here and get it out of their end.
Brian Garcia with 31 saves in a 3-2 loss to St. Joseph's of Buffalo earlier in the season. He also made 37 saves against Rome in the tournament win. Whereas the Massena Central Red Raiders won the tournament last weekend, I should say. They defeated Rome in the first round of that tournament. and then went on to beat Greece for the championship. Play is in the Potsdam zone. Sandstoners will work out to center. Lloyd Howe trying to control a bouncing puck. Howe was knocked down on the play. This is Frank Joy. Now for Terry. Ryan Terry runs into Larry Allen, knocks him off the puck. Center ice area, David Hewlin. He's throwing his weight around. Starting to get a little chippy out there, Mike.
Certainly is. Both teams are using their sticks quite a bit, and just a couple seconds ago we should have seen maybe a spearing penalty called, but the refs didn't see it. It's a pretty fast game. Tough to see everything out there.
Down to 5:30 in our hockey game. Red Raiders leading 4-2. Mike Lapointe tries to hold in at the blue line. Now Schneider with it. Sandstoners work at the center. This is Jack Charlebois. Charlebois in over the line. He shoots. He scores. Jack Charlebois with a shot that I think Brian Garcia just kind of misplayed in the pads or had a little trouble with.
I think the Potsdam forward used the Massena defenseman as a bit of a screen there. Maybe shot it between the legs. Maybe a replay will show that, but it looks like...
Here's the replay. Charlebois moving in, and the shot...
looks like it went between the legs, and maybe caught Garcia by surprise where it was going to come out there. And
once again...
Sandstone goal scored by number 17, Jack Charlebois. Unassisted, 9 minutes, 42 seconds.
Charlebois shot. Might have even gone between the legs of defenseman Dion, I believe. And so Charlebois makes it a 4-3 hockey game. And the Sandstoners come flying back once again. David Grant playing in front. Here's a shot that's fired wide of the Massena net by Andy Smith. Pick up. Now Brian Garcia with a little trouble right to the side of the net. And then we got a big collision as storming in was Marty Andrews, and he hit Brian Garcia from behind and took his skates out from underneath the Red Raider netminder. And all of a sudden, with that goal, Potsdam get a little momentum here.
Oh yeah, it's amazing what a goal will do, especially when you're down by 2 goals. We always like to say that a 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey, because the other team gets one, and then the team that's up by a couple of goals, they start thinking, and maybe thinking a little too much. And Potsdam's got, like you said, quite a bit of momentum right now, and hopefully Massena can get the puck out of their zone.
Now the Sandstoners come back again, and they tie the hockey game. 4:43 remaining, and just like that, once again, and the Red Raiders as a team have seen this all too much this year, as they enjoyed a 3-goal lead against Aquinas with 5 minutes left and gave up 4 goals in the final 5 minutes to lose that game. The Red Raiders led 2-1 with 3 minutes to go against St. Joe's. But St. Joe scored 2 goals in a final 20-second span to win that game 3-2. And it seems like just when, I don't know if they get complacent or what happens, but just when things seem to be going smoothly and they seem to be leading comfortably, or like you said, 2 goals, and all of a sudden, here you go, you look at the scoreboard again, and it's now a tie hockey game at 4-4, and another Potsdam Massena finish coming up.
Oh, it certainly is. It's always good to see a real close, exciting games, especially when it's high school. And like I said, it's momentum, and it's also that 2-goal lead. And I've seen it happen a lot in my career, especially. That you really hate to. You don't hate to have a 2-goal lead, but when the other team gets some momentum, you don't really want to see it.
Now 2-on-1 once again, and a good play this time by Derek DeRocher to break that up. But Potsdam are out flying right now.
Yeah, they're definitely taking the play to Massena right now. Massena's just got to, just get it going the other way and just try to get a forecheck going here late in the game.
Derek DeRocher made a fake that time, moving in over the blue line, and when he did, that allowed the Potsdam player to poke check the puck away. There you see our score on our Cable 36 scoreboard, it's Massena 4, Potsdam 4. It was 3-2 after 2 periods of play here tonight. Red Raiders at their own blue line. And we have an offsides call coming up against Potsdam as Mike McCabe touched the puck, and there was one of his teammates already inside the zone. Doesn't take much for momentum to change in a hockey game, does it?
You know, sometimes it's a big hit. A lot of times it's a goal. It could be a power play goal. It could be a penalty killing will really pick a team up too, especially like a 5-on-3 situation. But hockey's a funny game. Sometimes it's a game of mistakes, a game of momentum. Could be anything. And, just whichever team is able to take advantage of the opportunities that they get, it's usually going to come out on top.
Sandstoners behind their own net. Red Raiders have out there Matt Reed. Now a 3-on-1 break for Potsdam the other way, but Tony Walker has trouble controlling the puck. A 3-on-1 that time, and Walker had trouble in front of the Massena bench.
I think it looks like maybe the puck got caught up in a little bit of snow there, and one of the other Potsdam players a little anxious to get in towards the net there and drive the net. And you know, fortunately for Massena, that was offside. It's a 3-on-1. It's a pretty good scoring opportunity.
Red Raiders were caught that time, fortunately for the offsides.
Yeah, maybe being a little overly aggressive at the blue line, and you know they got caught back with just one defenseman. But you know they're trying to win. You can't fault them for that.
Now back the Red Raiders score. Josh Spanberg with a nice move. And Spanberg puts the Red Raiders back out in front 5-4, and we have 2:42 remaining.
You won't see too many goals nicer than that as far as individual efforts are going. Made a great move around the Potsdam defenseman. Walked in alone, put it right upstairs on the goalie.
Spanberg, a nice move to get around a sliding defenseman. Did the defenseman commit himself too soon?
Hard to say. You know, he's probably thinking 4-4 game. Maybe I should, try to block the shot if I can. But the best thing to do is stay on your feet unless you're absolutely sure that the forward is going to shoot.
So the Red Raiders back out in front, or regain the lead once again. 2:20 remaining here in our third period. Dougie Adams has a poke checked off his stick. David Grant from a bad angle, and he fires a shot, and I think Garsha got a piece of that. Puck rolls down into the Potsdam zone. Kelleher plays it off the boards, off the center. Retouched by Massena, and that's where play will stop as the Red Raiders charge with
intentional offsides. It looks like, Chip, we're going to have the face-off in Massena's end. Crucial face-off here for Potsdam and Massena too.
Yeah, Matt Reed just trying to get back on sides, touched the puck in. By virtue of that, he ends up making the face-off come back down into the Massena zone.
It looks like he was just trying to redirect the puck maybe, and didn't maybe realize he was on the other side of the blue line.
From the draw, Potsdam will have to regroup at center. Ed Kelleher. Now this is Tony Walker. Walker, McCabe, Carey up front for Potsdam. And on defense, it's Smith and Kelleher. Ryan Kerwin out there. Chad Willard, Matt Woodward, Brian Terry, Ryan Kerwin. Derek DeRocher for the Massena Central Red Raiders. Minute 30 in our hockey game. We'll have to watch for the Potsdam net to see if they pull the goaltender. A shot, that's wide of the mark. Now Mike McCabe. McCabe will skate to center. He's got Carey and Walker with him. Plays the puck to the line, but broken up. Derek DeRocher plays it back to center. Red Raiders will be content just to keep it out of their own end now. Now David Hewlin. Hewlin shoots, and a good save by Brian Garsha. As Garsha comes up big on that shot by Hewlin.
Yeah, Garsha had to be aware there. That was a good, real quick wrist shot by the Potsdam forward. Just stepping over the blue line. Sometimes it'll catch the goalie off guard.
There you get a look at the shot.
Yeah. Defense stayed out of the way, though, gave him a nice clear view of it. So it was a good save by Garsha at a crucial time in the game, especially a minute left, or minute 4 actually, with a 5-4 game here.
And that really was key that, like you said, the defenseman let the goaltender see the shot.
Yeah, if you're as a defenseman, if you realize you're not going to be able to block it or redirect it, you're best just to kind of maybe step aside when that guy is shooting and give the goalie a clear view. But up until that point, Massena was doing a great job of keeping the puck out, standing up the blue line real well.
So we're under a minute to play in our hockey game. 5-4 our score. Red Raiders in the lead. Matt Reed in deep, rolls the puck in. Red Raiders will try to keep Potsdam hemmed in their own zone so they can't move their goalie out of the net for an extra attacker. Potsdam at center. Try to redirect into Massena zone, broken up by DeRocher. Now Matt Reed. Reed plays the puck in deep. We're under 30 seconds. Now at center ice, Potsdam moving over the line. This is Hewlin. Here's a shot taken, and a quick shot by Bicknell that Garsha steered away. In the front of the net, Red Raiders steal, down to 10 seconds in our hockey game. Empty net now. Spanberg in, he shoots. Josh Spanberg puts the game away for the Massena Central Red Raiders with an empty net goal.
Yeah, Potsdam had a real good opportunity just 10 seconds ago or so on the...
Here's the replay as Spanberg moves in over the line and had the net to himself. And there you see some of the crowd going home happy here as they see their Massena Central Red Raiders winning here tonight by the score of 6-4. And that will do it. 14:56. Spanberg from Joy and LeBombard. And there you see as the Red Raiders are out congratulating their goaltender, Brian Garsha. Shots on goal. So the Red Raiders outshoot Potsdam 30-14. Okay, so the Massena Central Red Raiders might lead 4-2 here in the third period, but then they see that lead go away as Potsdam come back with 2 goals to tie it, but then the Red Raiders score late in order and then score an empty net goal to end up winning 6-4.
Yeah, pretty exciting third period here at the Massena Arena. You know, Massena got out to that lead, and Potsdam came roaring back. Got to give them a lot of credit. They were down by 2 and just kept coming, and you know, Massena got that the 5th goal, which made just a huge difference there. It took a lot of weight off their shoulder, made some pressure, and then you know, got the empty netter to make it 6-4 final.
Recapping the hockey game, in the first period, the Red Raiders scored early as Brian LeBombard scored from Josh Spanberg and Derek DeRocher at the 2:43 mark, and that made it 1-0 Massena. Then Potsdam scored late in the first period, as there you see the goal right there, as that made it was McCabe unassisted, and that made it 1-1, and that's how the first period ended. Then in the second period, the Red Raiders went ahead 2-1 on Mike LaPointe's goal. The assist going to Corey David. As you see Tim Long talking to referee Martin in St. Louis as they are discussing. And here it was, Corey David played the puck. The shot was taken, the save made by Grant, and the rebound, and tucked home.
Yeah, LaPointe went to the net just like he should off the face-off there and picked up the rebound. And perfect textbook play off the face-off.
So that made it 2-1, and then the Red Raiders went ahead 3-1 on the play in the first or second period, that is, as Matt Reed scored with the assist going to LeBombard and Spanberg, and it was a power play goal, and that made it a 3-1 hockey game. Josh Spanberg and Brian LeBombard, big games here tonight.
Oh, they certainly did. Both played real well. On, you know, good team effort by Massena there tonight.
There it is, Matt Reed, and that's the goal that you were mentioning you'd like to have.
I'd like to have a couple of those.
A few of.
That'd be nice.
As that made it 3-1, and then Potsdam scored to make it 3-2 as Brian Garsha kind of caught out of his net. There you see it, behind the net, and the scramble. And getting credit on that goal was Bicknell. That made it 3-2, and that's how the second period ended. Then in the third period, the Red Raiders made it 4-2 as Spanberg scored from LeBombard and Kerwin. And we should have that goal for you in a moment. As the shot was taken, and it looked like Matt Reed, who they don't give an assist to, but I think Matt Reed was out there, Mike.
Yeah, it looked like it. Kerwin did a great job. The Potsdam player went down to block that. Kerwin did a real good job of getting that puck through. Just underneath the Potsdam defender there. Good shot on net, the rebound. And
that made it,
that's what it takes.
Right, that made it 4-2 at the time. Then Potsdam made it 4-3 as Charlebois scored unassisted to make it a 4-3 hockey game. And at this point, the Red Raiders were, comfortable, 4-2. And I don't know if you get complacent or whatnot. Like you said,
maybe you sit back a little bit and you stop doing the things that got you the 2-goal lead. And I don't know if it's complacency. It's just you just don't. You're not doing the things as sharp as you normally would, and it's hard to tell a team, well, don't do that, and you certainly don't want to do that. But it happens with every team, whether it's high school or minor hockey or in the National Hockey League. And
here we get a look at Charlebois' goal, and I think it went through the defenseman. Like you said, the defenseman probably was used as a screen on the play, and Brian Garsha had a little trouble with that one. It snuck through his pads.
It's tough for a goalie to pick he can see the puck, but once he loses it, it's tough for a goalie to pick that puck back up again, especially coming through a player's legs like that, and went through his between his legs too, I believe. And good shot. Maybe they're going to tie it up and maybe get thinking a little too much, and Potsdam. The player picked up a rebound, it looks like there, and
it came out from a scramble, really, in front of the net. We're going to take a look at that one more time. Nice move by McCabe.
Yeah,
he went to the backhand, had Garsha moving across the net.
Yeah, went back across against the goalie's his motion, and almost had an empty net there.
And then Josh Spanberg picked up the go-ahead goal, 5-4, and a real nice move on the defenseman on this play as the defenseman was sliding across the ice, and Spanberg drew it back, went in all alone on the netminder Grant, and was able to put it behind him. Here you got to look at it, as you'll see the defenseman come into the picture right there.
Yeah, he looks like the Potsdam player is coming across maybe to cover up for his partner there, and going for the big block late in the game like that. And maybe committed a little too early, but Spanberg made a great move there. It's a real pretty goal. It's tough to beat that one, and didn't make any mistakes once he was in alone on the goalie.
And then the Red Raiders put this one away with just seconds remaining in the hockey game as Josh Spanberg scored again. And coming, I think LeBombard might have gotten an assist on it. 14:56 the time of the goal. It was an empty net goal.
Yeah, Massena did a great job. Potsdam got their goalie out, and they got the puck in Massena's end. None of the Massena players panicked. They picked up the puck. They got it, kept it along the boards, and didn't throw it up the middle of the ice. Kept it along the boards. Spanberg picked it up and had the empty net to shoot at. Always nice to get one or two of those too.
Josh Spanberg with the hat trick here tonight, and he also had a couple of assists. Josh Spanberg with an outstanding game here tonight. Mike Hurlbutt, thanks so much as being our guest color analyst tonight. Everybody in Massena and Louisville and surrounding communities certainly wishing you the very best in Cornwall, you and your family, and hopefully you won't be around here long and you'll be up with Quebec or somebody in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, it'd be good to get an opportunity to play up there, and you know, I think I took advantage of my opportunity I was given last year, but it's something I can't control. The only thing I can control is going out and playing my best every night, and you know, whatever happens, happens. I'm a big believer in fate, and you know, I just want to play as well as I can, whether it's here in the American Hockey League in Cornwall or if it's with a National Hockey League team someplace. It's just play as well as I can every night and hope for the best.
Thanks for the comments tonight, and once again, the very best of luck for the remainder of the season. Hopefully you'll be back in the NHL.
Okay, I appreciate that, Chip, and it was the pleasure. I was glad that Gary Edwards asked me to do this. This is a lot of fun. I can see why John Davidson gets paid a lot of money. I certainly wasn't up to his caliber, but you know, John Davidson's with MSG and he's is one of the best color guys in the business, and it was a lot of fun being on this side of the microphone. You get a different perspective, and it's hard to keep up with the action, and I was glad I had you along to call the plays, and I could just kind of throw out some comments once in a while of whether they meant anything or not, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, don't get too used to this yet. Maybe in a few years.
Yeah, I'd like to hopefully it's a few years. The longer the better. I think I need to practice at this a little more than I do the hockey, but this is a unique opportunity, and you know, Channel 36 is doing a great job for the community, and I'm sure the people in the community do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Well, that will just about do it from the Massena Arena tonight. Once again, our final score has been the Massena Central Red Raiders winning over Potsdam by the score of 6-4 in Northern Athletic Conference hockey. This has been an Edwards production. Any rebroadcast or reproduction, made in part or in whole, without the express written consent of Edwards Production, is strictly prohibited. Our producer has been Chad Edwards. Our cameramen have been Gary Edwards and Tim Cole. And for my broadcast partner, Mike Hurlbutt, I'm Chip Chapman. Have a pleasant good night, everybody. Once again, Massena winners here tonight by the score of 6-4.